Hello and welcome back to another episode of Clarissa Cooks It All. And today we're going to be making a corned beef shawarma. We're making homemade pitas to go with this, and we're going to use the corned beef from the last video when I made the corned beef hash with the sweet potatoes. Let's get started. We're going to start off by mixing 2 1/4 teaspoons of instant yeast, a 1/2 teaspoon of sugar, and then we're also going to do a 1/4 cup of wheat flour and 1 cup of warm water. And then we're going to whisk this all up, and we're going to set this aside and let this sit for about 15 minutes until it's nice and foamy. Once our yeast mix is all nice and foamy, we're going to take 2 1/2 cups of all-purpose flour, and we're going to add 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil and 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt. And then we're going to add our yeast mixture into this and mix this all up. And then we're going to knead it for about 5 minutes. After kneading your dough for about 5 minutes, it should be kind of soft and tacky to the touch. And we are going to wash out the bowl that we mix this in, and we're going to oil it and add this back into here. And then we're going to cover it in plastic, and we're going to let this sit for about an hour until it's doubled in size. Once your dough has doubled in size, we're going to go ahead and punch it down first, and then you're going to take it and divide it into 8 sections. And then we're going to take each one of these and roll them into a little ball. And then we're going to cover this in a damp cloth for about 15 minutes before we roll them out. While your dough is resting, we're going to go ahead and we're going to make our sauce. We're going to use about a 1/2 cup to 3/4 cup of mayonnaise. To this, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of sugar. We're also going to add in about a teaspoon of pepper, about a 1/2 tablespoon of dill, and then a tablespoon of some apple cider vinegar. And we're going to mix this all up, and we can go ahead and cover this and set this in the fridge until we're ready to serve. Then we're just going to go ahead and slice up some red and some green cabbage. You're going to want about a handful of each of these. I sliced them up nice and thin, and then went ahead and cut them all in half lengthwise. Then we're going to take 1/2 of an English cucumber, and we're going to thinly slice this. I did use my Pampered Chef Rapid Slicer for doing my cucumbers, but when it came to doing my red onions, I used potato peeler to cut them up nice and thin. Now it's time to start rolling out our pitas. We're going to go ahead and lightly flour our surface, and we're going to roll each one of these out. You want these less than 1/4 of an inch thin. Once you're all done rolling all of these out, we're going to go ahead and we're going to cover these with a damp cloth, and we're going to let this dough rest for about 10 minutes before we start cooking them. We're going to preheat a cast iron pan over medium-high heat, and we're going to oil it, and you're going to cook all of your pitas on here individually. We're going to go ahead, and once you start seeing bubbles form, it'll take about 30 seconds. You're going to go ahead and flip them over and cook them for a minute. They will puff up nice and big, and then you're going to flip them over one more time and cook them for another minute, and then they're done. You can refer to part 1 of the corned beef to see how I cooked this. But we're going to take this now and we're going to slice them up nice and thin. And then we're going to also take these and cut them into little strips. Once you have these all cut up, we're going to heat about 2 tablespoons of oil in a pan. We're going to go ahead and throw these in, and we're going to season this up with a little bit of some cumin, some paprika, a little bit of the umami mushroom, and also some onion powder. Then we're going to also go ahead and throw in some Worcestershire sauce. I use probably a little over a tablespoon in here. And then we're just going to cook it until it's heated through. And then we're going to go ahead and start plating. We're going to just put a little bit of some meat on our pita, add some of our thinly sliced onion and cucumber, and a little bit of our cabbage. And then we're going to take our sauce that we made, our creamy dill sauce, and we're going to go ahead and just drizzle this on top. And it's all ready to eat. Hope y'all enjoyed. Thank you for watching.